A very good morning, dear students. In animal classification, in the last video, we have learned about the criteria for new system of classification. In this video, you are going to learn about the two phylums, that is Phylum Porifera and Phylum Cnidaria. Fine. Now let us turn on to the first phylum, that is Phylum Porifera. Now the word itself tells you that they might be having pores. Okay, since they have the presence of pores on their body, they are called as poriferans. So animal belonging to this phylum are generally called as sponges. Sponges means they are like the sponge. You have seen a sponge, no? They are very soft. So they are also like the sponge. They look like a sponge also, and when you touch them also they are spongy in nature. Therefore they are also called as sponges. Fine. Then these animals are aquatic. That means you might have seen whenever suppose National Geography or Discovery Channel, when they show mostly inside the water, you will be seeing all colorful organisms, and all these colorful organisms are mostly belonging to Porifera and Cnidaria. So because they are found, they are aquatic animal. Most of them are living in the marine water, and few of them live in the fresh water. Okay. Now and those which live in marine water are shown, in fresh water also you can see some of the examples. Fine. Now let us see further other characteristics. They are, these poriferans are attached to the substratum. Substratum means what? Ground. Okay, like how trees are rooted in the ground. The same way inside the water, these poriferans are present wherever there is ground. On the ground they are attached firmly, and therefore since they are attached firmly, they cannot move. And since they cannot move, they are called as non-motile, or they are also called as sedentary animals. Sedentary means, you might have heard about sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle means those who sit and do work and then eat. Sit and eating type of habit we say, it's called as sedentary lifestyle. And those people, become fat and all, those who go for the office work and all, because why? They do not do physical work. They sit and do their work. So that lifestyle is called as sedentary lifestyle. So also those organisms and these animals, since they are at one place, attached to one place, that is to the substratum. Okay, substratum can be a ground or a rock wherein they are attached. They are called as sedentary animals. Okay, so these are non-motile animal. Non-motile means non-moving, attached to a solid substratum, hence they are referred to as sedentary animals. Then another characteristic, they have a simple body. Okay, now here you have learnt about that they have a cellular grade organization. That means there are cells but no tissues which are formed. Okay, so that is why we say that they have a simplest body plan. And these are the least evolved. That's why they do not have tissues nor organs. Only cells are present. Fine. So simplest body plan is there. Their body is asymmetrical. You have learnt now when we were studying about the different criteria. In that we have learnt that poriferans are asymmetrical. That means you cannot cut them into equal halves. That is why they are called as asymmetrical organisms or animals, which is covered with spicules or spongin fibers. Now that means what? They are having fibers, certain fibers. These fibers are called as spicules or spongin fibers, you can see, which are mostly made up of calcium carbonate. You know that, and I have told you that they are sponges. Sponges means sponge-like. They require something, covering for their body. So that covering is done with calcium carbonate, and that calcium carbonate crystals only are called as spicules or spongin fibers. You can see in the diagram here how is the structure of this calcium carbonate crystals. Okay, so they are also called as spicules or spongin fibers, which protect them. Okay, next, they are either made up of calcium carbonate or silica. Next, these animals have special types of cells called as collar cells. You can see how beautiful they look like. These cells are called as collar cells. Okay, they are called as collar cells, and they look like a collar, you can see. That is why they are called as collar cell. Fine. Now, why the name, as I have told you, they have the presence of pores on their body. So, therefore, they are called as poriferans. So, these animals have small pores, and these animals, feed upon small organisms that are taken in their body along with the water. So, how do they, they cannot move in search of food. Therefore, they take in, they feed on smaller organisms which are smaller as compared to them. Okay, like zooplanktons and all. I mean, I will not go into detail of it. Small organisms, you remember small organisms. So, small organisms that are taken in their body along with the water. Okay, not only small organisms, even along with the small organism, water will enter inside the body. But water is not required for them. Let's see how water they will release out. Okay, so they have these small pores through which these organisms enter into the body of the organism. Body of the poriferan. So, they have the small pores, and these pores are called as ostia. Okay, so it is all perforated with these small pores, and these small pores are called as ostia. This is one. Okay, whole body is made up of ostia, whereas they have another type of an opening. Okay, at the upper free end. You can see upper free end in this diagram here. So, that is red colored, which is shown, is called as an osculum. So, when they are taking up the smaller organisms, along with that I have told you they take in water. So, water and along with the organisms, it enters through the the ostia, and then it is released out from the osculum. Okay, that is the opening which is present, large opening at the upper free end of the poriferans. Okay, so this is regarding the number of pores in them. Okay, so ostia and osculum are two different types of opening pores on their body. Therefore, they are called as poriferans. Then these animals, reproduction, when we are talking about, they have either sexual or asexual type of reproduction. So, in case of asexual type of reproduction, they have two types. That is, one is one is budding and second one is regeneration. Budding means you have learned in the second lesson what is meant by formation of the bud. Okay, bud. Then asexual type of reproduction also is there in this case. I am not going to detail of it because it is a larger, we will have to talk in lots about it. Then we have regeneration. Regeneration also you have learned in the second lesson. So, regeneration, any part if you it gets cut, it will develop into a new organism. Okay, so that is regeneration. Then what are the examples of this? Examples of these are cycone. Okay, cycone, you can see the diagram of cycone. Euspongia, also called as bath sponge, we are going to talk about it. Then hyalonema and euplectella. Okay, all these are some of the examples of poriferans. Now, some of the amazing facts we will see. So, these are all belonging to Phylum Porifera. Now, some facts. Just now I have told you about the euspongia, the bath sponge. Now, why it is called as bath sponge, you will understand. Now, this bath sponge, which is spongy in nature, is made up of fibers called as spongin, as I have mentioned to you, spongin fibers, and these spongin fibers are made up of proteins. Fine. So, since this spongin fiber have the presence of good water holding capacity, it can be like a sponge. It has good holding water capacity. Therefore, it has many uses. Okay, like for example, in the olden days, these spongins or bath sponge, euspongia, was used for bathing. Okay, then it was also used for in the manufacturing of pillows and cushions, whereas it was also used as wetting material for sticking the postal stamps and counting currency notes. Like now also in the bank and all, for counting currency notes, they just put their finger in that bath sponge and then just start counting the money. So it is it has various uses. Next, this is regarding the porifera. Okay, remember Porifera has perforated body, that's why they are called as Porifera. They are commonly called as sponges. They are aquatic animals, mostly they are found in marine, some are found in fresh water. Okay, they have the presence of the special types of cells called as collar cells. The two types of pores are Ostia and Oscula. Okay, they take in the smaller organisms through Ostia, and the water is released out through the Osculum. Fine. They have the reproductions asexual as well as sexual. Asexual, there are two types, one is budding and second one is regeneration. So this is regarding Porifera. Next, let us move on to the next phylum, that is Phylum Cylinderate or Cnidaria. So animals belonging to Phylum Cylinderate are aquatic and mostly occurring in marine habitats. Only few cylinderates live in fresh water, as in the case of poriferans. These are also aquatic in nature and most of them are found in marine water, whereas some are found in fresh water. So marine habitat, you have seen this type of fish called a jellyfish. Fine. And fresh water you can see something called a hydra. As I have shown you before also when I was teaching you the system of classification, criteria for system of classification, that time you have seen this diagram. It is called as the hydra. Okay, and all these are called as cylinderates or Cnidaria. Now, the body of these animals is either cylindrical in shape or maybe umbrella shape. You can see umbrella like body in the case of a jellyfish, whereas cylindrical shape is there for hydra. So the umbrella like body is also called as Medusa and cylindrical body is called as Polyp. Remember these words. These are some new words you have to learn. So these are key words. Medusa means umbrella like, Polyp means cylindrical. Okay. Then these have the presence, what type of symmetry they show. Now you have learned that symmetry, you have learned what is symmetry. Now these show radial type of symmetry. When I have told you about radial symmetry, I have mentioned to you about the cylinderates or the Cnidarians show the presence of body symmetry and especially radial symmetry. That means you can cut from the central axis into any plane. Okay, that you will get exactly two halves. That is called as radial body symmetry. Okay, then about their germ layers. Now they have diploblastic germ layers. That means two layers only. That is ectoderm and endoderm. They do not have the presence of a coelom, as I have mentioned to you. So they are acoelomates. Fine. Now how is the other structure of it? Now it consists of tentacles. Tentacles means like something coming out like this. Okay, so you can see the diagram of the tentacles which are coming out like this. Okay, they are called as tentacles, and there is a special structure called a cnidoblast. From this cnidoblast only they have got the name called a Cnidaria. Okay, so this cnidoblast is surrounding the mouth. You can see the mouth is there and cnidoblast is surrounding it. Okay, so from this cnidoblast only what is coming? Tentacles are coming. Okay, so what are the functions of these tentacles and cnidoblast? Tentacles are meant to capture the prey. That means whatever is coming in their way, they are meant to capture the prey. Fine. And cnidoblast is there to inject the toxins in the body of the prey, so that once they catch the prey, they will just inject the toxin and the prey will die off. Okay, so that they can peacefully have it. Okay, peacefully have their meal, right? So not only for capturing the prey, but these cnidoblast also inject toxins for their protection also, so that they don't get harmed from some other animals. So that is the function of it. Now this is regarding the cnidoblast or the Cnidaria. So some of the examples of animals belonging to this phylum are Hydra, Edemsia, also called as sea anemone, Physalia, or you can see the Physalia, it looks like a Portuguese man of war, only it is going to hit someone like that, it is there. And Aurelia, also called a jellyfish, you can see such a beautiful jellyfish there. And corals, coral reefs you might have heard, right? So let's talk about it, amazing facts about these corals. So colonies of certain cnidarians are found in oceans, and these are only called as coral reefs. So once they die, they form the coral reefs, which are very important for sustaining the life of so many organisms which are there in the marine water. Okay, so coral reefs supports the life of various organisms. That is why, because of the pollution and all, these coral reefs are getting damaged, and oceanic pollution, when it is occurring, these are getting damaged, and when it will get damaged completely, that means all the living organisms which are there in the water also will get affected. So we have to be very careful, because lot of oceanic pollution is going on. So this coral reef is not only meant for this, but even in once they die, they are also called as povara, okay, which is used in Ayurvedic preparation. So coral powder, these corals are made into a powder, okay, which is used in Ayurvedic preparation. Fine. So this is regarding the lesson. The two phylums, that is Poriferans and Cnidaria, and even we have learned about the system of classification, new system of classification, criteria for new system of classification. I hope so you have understood this, and we will continue with the next phylum in the next video. Till then, students, bye and thank you.